Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. I posted it to my blog earlier this week and I was asked if I would show how I've done this piece. The three pieces there are fitted together like a jigsaw puzzle. Nothing is sitting on top of the other. So I'm going to show you how I've done that. I'm also going to show you how I've done this bit here as well, because I've heat embossed the sentiment. So I'll start off by telling you the card pieces that you're going to need, and I'm going to be using fresh fig and powder pink. So to start with, your card base needs to be 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8, or in centimetres 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5. And then you need two pieces of Whisper White, which measure 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres, and one piece is for the inside of the car and one is for the top. Then you need another piece of Whisper White, and this measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then you need two pieces of Designer Series paper, and I'm using this, which is from A Whole Lot of Lovely. What I've done on here is I've chosen a Designer Series paper that has a colour at the back with white on it, and the one down here is white DSP with the colour on it, and I've reversed it when I did that way on that one, and that's what I'm going to be doing again. So for this one, the top Designer Series paper, the one with the main colour with the white pattern on it, this should measure 2 1/2 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 6.5 by 14 centimetres. And this piece here should measure 1 3/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 3.5 by 14 centimetres. And then the Designer Series paper for these two pieces, you need, that one now will be the top one, and these are all the same size. This is the same size, so you need two pieces of your Designer Series paper and a piece of cardstock that measures your card base, this one here. And these all measure 2 1/2 inches by 3 1/2 inches, which is 6.5 by 9 centimetres. And then you'll need three pieces of our Multipurpose Adhesive Sheets. If you haven't seen these in the catalogue, they come in a packet like this. The sheets are 12 inches by 6 inches. And once I've cut my bits and pieces, whatever I'm left with, I save in my packet, because I don't know if I'll be able to use these or not. Some of them are a nice size, and I think they will be used. Right, now these three also need to be 2 1/2 inches by 3 1/2 inches, so they're the same size as these three. Okay, and that was in centimetres 6.5 by 9 centimetres. So then we have the for the sentiment, I've done these the same sizes. The Whisper White and the Fresh Fig, they measure 2 1/2 inches by 1 1/2 inches, and that is 6.5 by 3.8 centimetres. And then the final piece is a scrap piece. It will get used, it will be on your card, but I'm saying aloud that to be about 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 inches. It's not really crucial. You'll see what I'm using it for as we go along, but that's about 7.1 by 9.6 centimetres. Right, so the first thing we're going to be doing is this piece here. So I'm going to take my 3 pieces of my adhesive sheets and 2 pieces of designer series paper and my cardstock. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to put my self-adhesive sheets on the back of those 2 pieces and on one of the sides on there. And the easy way of doing this is if you just lift up a little bit at the end here, and I just use my paper piercer because these sheets really are very, very sticky. They are excellent. So what I do is I fold that bit back, and then I get one piece and I line this up with that. Okay, so as I'm going down, I'm pushing that on my desk so that that is lining up beautifully and it's lining up all the way around. Once I'm happy, then I can just squash that down and then lift this one up and then that will adhere down on that. It's come over a little bit, but that's not going to be any problem. Let me just put that against the colour so that you can see it. I've got my silicone mat over there, but I've stuck my tripod on it so I can't use that. There we go. See, a little bit, but it's not going to do any harm at all. So let's do these pieces now. And it doesn't matter which side of the covering you take off. Right. Okay, so just fold a little bit down. And this has to go on the back of your paper. Don't put it on the design. Excuse me. Don't put it on the design that you want to be using. Okay, so line the bottom bit up and the sides, and when you're happy, squeeze that, and then you can lift that off. There we go. I've done a much better job on that one. And then the last one, let's put that over there. There we go. Okay, just a little bit. I suppose that's about a quarter of an inch, just over a quarter of an inch. I'll get it all lined up again. Make sure your sticky sheet's going on the back of your designer series paper. There we go. It's quite easy to get it straight. I don't know why this one went funny, but it doesn't matter. So we're going to do those 3. Let's move everything out of the way for the time being. I need to get my big shot up here. Right, first of all, let me show you the dies that I'm using. It's from the set called Lovely Words, and these are the 3 dies that you get. And this is how they die cut. Friends, Lovely, see I've got that one upside down, and Hugs. So you don't have to use these as within the hearts and things. You can just snip here and here. So you take the words, use them by themselves. If you want to know about my way of storing my thinlits, my dies, have a look at my video number 273. That explains how I do it. Right, okay. So all I'm going to do is put my DSP with the right side facing up and my die facing down. Run that through, and then if you just move it off to the side here, move that out of the way so I can show you what I'm doing. And what I'm going to do, I want to lift this off, but I'm going to leave the two bits at the side with it. Okay, so I've left everything all together, and I'm going to do exactly the same to the other two as well. Obviously, by doing this, you can make 3 cards out of it. You just do the colours different ways around. Okay, so lay that one down again, and make sure that you don't lose the little bits that are inside the F for friend, E for the E, and the D for the D, of course. Right, now this one, the last one, now this needs to go on the top, not onto the, and also try and get it into the centre as well. You'll see why that bit's fairly important. Right, okay, so we crank that one through. There we go. So we won't be needing that again. We will be needing the big shot again, but it needs to go out of the way for the time being. Now this is the scrap piece of paper that I said we would need. So what I'm going to do is, how did I do this first? I'm going to take out this centerpiece, okay, so I've got that one out. Then I'm going to get this one out, and then I'm going to very carefully take out these little pieces as well. I'm not going to use them for my card, but if I want to use the other bits to make up extra cards off camera, I will need these. Okay, so that's okay. Now I'm going to put this onto here. The reason I do this is it just makes life a bit easier, so that when I'm putting the two other pieces in here, it's got something to get anchored down onto. Okay, so that's that one. Let's move those up. Oh, I think the glue, the backing has come off of that one, it's sticking. Come on, let go. Please. Oh, that's good. Right, so which one are we having up at the top? We're having the white one up at the top. So we take that one out. And then we take the backing off. Now when you put this in, don't push it down until you're happy that it's all fitting in correctly. once you're happy it is going in nicely, then you can press it all down. Now what I am going to do is these pieces, the top three, they are all within this spotty bit, so I'm going to take these three out of here and put them in. Now this can be really very fiddly. They are such tiny pieces, and to try and get the backing off does require quite a bit of patience. In fact, I wonder, oh right, it's coming off. I was going to say, I wonder if I could just use some Tombow to glue. Well no, because eventually it would come off the backing, wouldn't it? And then disappear. Well, it was a nice idea while it lasted. Okay, let's get the centre out of the E. I've only got the backing now. Is that just the backing? Yes, it is. Alright, okay, well it was pure white anyway, so that one's not going to notice if it's not there. Unlike this one, which we will notice if it goes walkabouts. I will keep an eye out when I'm tidying up to see if I can find that errant little piece of paper. There we go, so that's that one. And now I need the bottom half here. And then I will need the bottom half of the little F that goes in there as well. As I say, try not to press it down until you're really happy that it's all fitting in there, if it will let go of your finger. Oh! Is that white bit? No, it isn't, is it? I bet some of you are out there saying, it's behind you. You can see it, can't you? Right, come on, in you go. That's it. Now, I said I wanted the F, didn't I? Let go. As you can see, this really is very sticky. Right, let's pop that all over there. There's another piece there, might be the bit that I'm looking for, but as I say, I'm not going to worry about it until after the video. Now we need to die cut this, and I've got some glue on there. That's it. But before I do that, let me do the sentiment here, because that will need die cutting. Right, the way I do this is I take my fresh Fig ink, I take the stamp, and this is from Happy Birthday Gorgeous stamp set, this one here, and I'm going to use my Versamark ink, my embossing body first. Just make sure there isn't any static or greasy finger marks on here. Right, this one first. It doesn't matter that this is very, very dirty. The only time it would matter is if I was using clear embossing as clear embossing. Right, now that I've done that, in fact, let me just get my clear embossing powder over here. And my tweezers. Right, okay, so into the Versamark, into my ink, and this doesn't spoil your ink pad at all, and then pop that right in the centre. Bit wonky, but we're going to die cut that anyway, so I just need to heat set that. So let me get my ink pads out of the way first. And also my embossing powder. So this is going to be noisy for a little bit, but not long. Just bear with me. See, so that's how you can heat emboss with any colour that you want, any of our ink colours, and you can do embossing. Pretty good, isn't it? Right, so we won't need that one again. Don't want to crush that when I bring my big shot over again. And I'm going to do that, and the dies that I'm using, I'm going to use this from the Stitched Shapes framelits, and that's number 4. I'm going to use this one as well. This is number 2. I always start counting from the smallest number, so that's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And I'm also going to be using the scalloped circle from Layering Ovals, and this is number 3, again counting as before. That's number 1, number 2, number 3. Right. Now first of all, this one, you just need to line this up so that you've got an even edge all the way round. If you're not happy with it one way, try it another way. Sometimes it makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't. I think that looks better. And then this one, I'm going to use the Stitched Shape number 2. Now this one, what you have to do, if I can see my paper piercer, here on the Y and here on the H, they just about touch the edges here. So let's get those two bits done. And then this Y just about touches the edge, and then that there just about goes into, yep, that one really gets the stitches going over it. And this one, it's a bit tight, but if you feel that's too tight, just cut yourself a piece that's a bit bigger. As you know, I like to try and be economical with my cardstock. Right. So first of all we'll take that one. Okay, isn't that lovely? Just love that. And oh, I wondered what happened there. It looks like a hair across there. Yes. Okay, so see where the stitch marks have gone? Just about clips the edges on these, and it actually misses those two and that one. Very, very close. And then of course this one, which is also a bit too close. Right, so the next bit is to start putting our card together. So first of all I'm going to take one piece of the, oh yes, that's right, you want the smaller piece of the Whisper White, okay, you should have two that are, that's it, okay, that one's the smaller piece, and this is what we need. These two, one is for the front and one is for the inside. Now this is what we're going to adhere on here. Now if you've done your measuring properly, these are going to butt up to each other beautifully. But if you're like me and I'm a little bit of a wing and a prayer, if you do it like this, if it does overlap or fall short, this is the way that it won't notice by the time you've got your ribbon on. So first of all, if you take the large piece, and line that up down at the bottom here, like we did with the adhesive sheets. So if you line it up so that this is spot on and that one is spot on. See if I can get a dark sheet here somewhere. Yes, well, there's a little bit hanging off there, but I'm not going to worry about that. And then I'm going to turn this up the other way and then put this piece on the same. If it's too wide, it's going to overlap this. If it's too short, it's going to leave a gap. If I'm very, very lucky, it's going to just butt up. And again, get it to line up like this. Looks like I've got an overlap here. But that's okay. It's such a minute amount. But as I said, the ribbon will sort that out. So I'm going to be using fresh fig ribbon for this. And I'm using our finely woven ribbon. So I'm going to take about 20 inches. I took 16 earlier on, and my goodness, I struggled. No doubt this time it's going to, oh no, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to tempt fate. Right, so I'm going to turn this around. I know lots of you have got your own ways of doing this, so whichever is your preferred method. I do prefer real bows if it happens. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. In fact, I might have to show you what I did last time to get around it. Right, let's just try that again. Right. In fact, I'll tell you what I did last time. I took the ribbon off altogether and I turned it round and tied the ribbon round this way. And then once I got myself a nice bow, I just cut it and then stuck either end around there. I think that's going in the right direction. I will put a glue dot behind it to make sure it stays in the position I put it in, which it normally does. Okay, so that's, I think, going to work for me. So what I'll do, move that along to the end. I'll do the glue dot once I've got this stuck to my card. So let's get this adhered on. Right, now this one. Just make sure I've got plenty of ribbon there on my, plenty of Tombow on my ribbon. Right, that looks as if that's straight before I pop it onto my card. Let's just have a quick look. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4.5, and 1, 2, 3, 4.5. There we go. So that will be down nice and firm. Now I'm going to take my glue dot, decide where I need to pop this to hold my ribbon in place. Right, I need that to be there. But that one's coming down a bit too low, so let's pop another one on that side. There we go, that's good. Now just tidy up the ends here. So all I need to do now is pop my bits onto the front of my card. Let's put the sentiment onto my layer. Right, now to pop that on with dimensionals, And what I do now that we have a choice between the full size and the small ones, I always felt that 4 on here was, for the big ones, was too much, but now that I can do too big, too small, I'm really very happy. Now that one I'm going to put on here and slide it through. So just sort of mark where I want that to go. I'm going to put 3 on the lower half and 3 on the upper half. I want the dimensionals to go over the ribbon. There we go, that's straight. And then this one as well. Let me just put this up so I can make sure I get this one straight. There we go, so that's that one. Then I just need to do something on the inside of my card. Let's get rid of those bits. And all I'm going to do is, I got myself 3 little strips of the cardstock so that this is like this. I've got the spotty one, the fresh fig, and then the patterned one, and I'm just going to pop those on like that down at the bottom here. These are far too long, I haven't measured them, but that's okay. I'm going to pop them on and then just cut the length to what I need. Just make sure I put at least enough glue on. Fit that along the bottom. I'm not trying to leave any white showing at all. And then with this one I found it easier just to put some glue straight onto my card. Because if I put too much on for the width of this cardstock, it doesn't matter because I've still got another length to go on. This little piece of fresh fig, I didn't actually have to cut that because I saved little bits like that and just put them in with my cardstock. So when I want to do a job like this, I'm just using up a scrap from a previous job from whenever. Let's check that I'm doing the right amount of gluing again. That should be right. Just slide it together so it all joins up and then cut off the back pieces. There we go. I'm going to pop that inside my card. So that is today's card. I hope you like it and I hope you give it a try. And I hope it gives you some ideas of how to use our multi-purpose adhesive sheets. That was the first card that I did, and I did do another one, that one, and the designer series paper I used here was from Pick a Pattern, and I did the same in here as I've done in that one. And the ribbon that I've used here is our shimmery black satin. As I say, I hope you've liked this. I hope you give it a try. If you have any questions, please leave them in the box below. I'm always happy to help you. I'll put in the box below the measurements that I've used and also the products. And if you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, because this is all current products, I'll put a link to my 24/7 shop in the box below. If you've enjoyed the video and you'd like to be notified each time I upload new ones, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.